So this video will show you how to do 2C nesting triangle problems, and I did print this for you guys, so it is over on the side table in my room if you want something to write on since there's a diagram. So these nesting triangles have several triangles inside the large triangle, and you just want to read what type each triangle is. So for this example, it says ABC is equilateral. So I'm just going to start by looking at that triangle and using that piece of information. So this triangle here is ABC. I know that equilateral triangles, all the angles are 60 degrees. So although A, if you look up here, is split into a bunch of angles, I know total it has to be 60. So I might just like write myself a little note out here that A has to be 60 degrees total. It actually does help me with B and C though, like this angle right here, B has to be 60 degrees, so I can fill that in. And then over here, this angle C has to be 60 degrees, so I can fill in that as well. Moving on, it says DAG and EAF are isosceles. So I'm just going to choose to start with one of those. I'm going to start with this one here, DAG. So looking at D, I see that it's 70 degrees, and we know that the base angles of isosceles triangles have to be congruent. So that makes this angle also 70 degrees. After that, I know that up here, this entire angle would have to be whatever's left over in this triangle. So if I add 70 plus 70, that's 140. If I subtract that from 180, that's 40 degrees. So this whole thing here needs to be 40. And then we know that this piece in the middle is 20 because it's labeled. So if I do 40, I take out that 20, I have 20 left. And then if you think about it, you could probably logically realize that these two need to be the same. So it's split right in half. So that makes each one 10. And then I'm going to move into my smaller one, EAF. So that's this one. I'm going to highlight it in green. This triangle right here is EAF. So right now I have the 20-degree angle at the top. It's isosceles, so we know these base angles have to be congruent. So if I take 180 degrees and I subtract out my 20, I'm going to get 160. If I split that in half, each of these are going to be 80. Ooh, that did not write well. Let me try a different color. Sorry about that. So this is 80, and then this is 80. I still have a few angles missing, so I'm going to go ahead and move over to this angle here. So you can see that these two angles are a linear pair. They make a straight line together, so they have to add up to be 180. So 180 minus 70 is 110. So this angle here is 110. And the exact same thing happens right over here with G. So this would be 110 as well. And this also happens again right here. So these two angles, they're a linear pair. They have to add up to be 180. If this section here is 80, that makes this one 100. And the exact same thing happens here. So this angle would also be 100. For this last triangle set out here, so I'm going to focus on this yellow one now. I have this little triangle out here. Triangles always add up to be 180. So I have 110 plus 60, that's 170. I need it to be 180, so I'm missing 10 degrees. So this little piece here is 10 degrees. We have the exact same triangle on the other side, so this is also 10 degrees. Now, there's lots of different ways to solve these. You didn't have to do it the exact same way I did, but this is just to give you an example. So now that you've watched this video, you're going to do 2D, which is a similar problem.